What's up, everybody? Rasati out here in Singapore, and I'm so glad to be here, you guys. Really, COVID, it's still going. We still struggling. We battling through or whatever. But I gotta tell you this, man. I feel pretty good about it because I feel like we're finally hitting a different rhythm, one that's a little bit more slowed down, one that's a little more geared towards paying attention to all the details in life, paying attention to the people in our lives, and that's where actually most of our healing work happens. It's in our human relationships, the people we live with, the people we work with, our friends, our family members, coworkers, colleagues, people we went to school with, cousins, like anybody, right? Any kind of human type creature that you end up talking to on a regular basis, those are the relationships that actually help us heal some of the traumas that we've lived through in our lives. Now, a lot of times you don't have the eloquence to be able to say what you mean. So to this, I'm telling you guys, please learn to speak plainly. Get rid of all of the adjectives and the adverbs, all that flowery language that you used to, fill up essays with because you had like a minimum word limit, right? Please learn to speak plainly. It's not going to come out beautifully the first time. It may offend people and hurt their feelings the first time, but the point is, once you get the words out, you should have a chance to explain yourself. This is how we actually deepen our friendships, deepen our bonds, make sure that we have the intimacy that we're craving so badly, right? We got to be plain with our language. So instead of saying, hey, hint, hint, I'm kind of hoping that you might want to see how much is lost already. I haven't even gotten to the point. It's already super vague. But if I were to tell you, hey, I was kind of offended the other day, they get the chance to say, oh my God, about what? And then you get to explain yourself. If you start off plainly by saying, you hurt my feelings, they get to say, I'm sorry, what are you talking about? Where is this coming from? What event are you talking about? And then you get to explain yourself. If you tell people, hey, I ended up crying myself to sleep the other night, they get to ask why. What happened? So if you learn to speak plainly, as in throw all the beauty and the eloquence out of your tongue and actually speak in plain words like a 6-year-old might, you actually have the chance to really build on a relationship. Obviously, it's going to take some time. Obviously, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to make you feel like you just want to run out the room instead of actually deal with this thing. But the point being, if you want the peace in that relationship, if you want that relationship to keep moving forward, if you want the other person to respect you, to have the chance to get to know you, you have to be vulnerable enough to show up and say what you mean. And the only way to do that is actually to say it as plainly as possible. Now, I've had so many clients call me in the last couple of days. I know that violence is on the rise. People are stuck in the house. It's domestic abuse at the moment. There's a lot of things going on. I know a lot of you are stuck in toxic situations. Some of you, unfortunately, are stuck all by yourself where you don't have any human interaction at all except for social media. I get it. It's tough times right now. But this is the time that we've been given to actually mend fences and try and improve our relationships. The only way to do that is to finally say what you've been holding your tongue for all this time, is to finally come out and tell people the things that you're upset with them about. I've had people come up to me and say, you know what? I love my girlfriend to death, but for some reason, all we do is bicker. What does bicker mean? Bicker means you argue about the way each other said something, the way each other looked at something. It's like the surface tension, right? Maybe y'all wanted to have dinner, and before you could actually decide on where to go, y'all got into an argument about, I don't know, a choice of words or the way they looked, or they maybe were on their phone while they were talking to you and they weren't fully paying attention. They weren't like, dialed in, paying attention to you. And so you end up bickering about the details instead of getting to the heart of the matter. I've had a lot of those. And by the time I cut through all the bullshit, get to the heart of the matter, it's a matter of the fact that these two people don't know how to love each other. They don't know what the other person's love language is. They don't know what their love language is. They don't know how to ask for what they want. They don't know how to tell the other person that they can't deliver the way the other person wants it delivered, so they need to come up with a compromise. They don't know how to do that. Why? Because they get tripped up by all the words they use. They get tripped up by the way each other looks, the way they, the body language, the surface tension, all the little things, the details, instead of the heart of the matter. The only way you can heal is to get to the heart of the matter. One case that I had, this couple, they love each other, like madly love each other. And both of them care about each other a lot, because most of the time when I get the conversation, one person is saying, oh my gosh, I just asked her to take care of this because I want her to be safe. And she took it as me ordering her around. Some other time, the other person is saying the same thing in reverse. They want each other to stay safe, especially during COVID. They know they can't see each other. They can't do, for each other like they used to. They got to expect the other person to take care of themselves. So anytime that they see that they're lacking somewhere, they say, hey, you know what? Don't forget to do this. And a lot of times it comes across as nagging. It comes across as, oh my God, why is she reminding me of this stuff? Oh my God, why is she harassing me about this stuff? It seems like she's trying to control me. I feel like she's not going to let me make my own decisions. The care that actually is in the intention doesn't come out in the language or the behavior. Why? Because they get into screaming matches and they forget what the whole point of the conversation was in the first place. So I'm telling you guys, please speak as plainly as you can. You don't know what I mean? Think about it from a 6-year-old's point of view. They don't have that much vocabulary to begin with. They know what their feeling words are. They know the very, very simple, directional words are. This happened to me. That person did this to me. This person did that to me. And honestly, outside of speaking plainly, you need to understand. Just because you feel hurt doesn't mean that that was the intention on the other side. I mean, I've had this so many times, right? My mom will call me up and be like, where are you? You know what time it is? You haven't come home yet. What's going on? Why aren't you here? And yes, it is nagging. But you know what? What doesn't come out in that conversation that I know very well, but I will forget in the moment is she loves me. She's worried about me. I'm a single female. I'm out in the middle of the night. She wants to know that I'm going to be okay, that I'm going to get home in one piece. I'm going to be safe and healthy. I'm going to walk through that door and I will be all right. She worries. Why? Because the only way she knows how to control things is to do it for herself. Same thing with me. I am the same way with my daughter. Why? Because I want to make sure that she's happy. I want to make sure that when she goes to school and she comes back, she's in pretty much the same state of mind that she went to school in. Because I try really hard to make sure that she's in a pretty good mood every morning. If she's having a tough time, if she's like worried about a test or a quiz and stuff, I make sure that I have done everything that I can possibly do to make sure she feels prepared. And if she's still not prepared, even though I know she is, I'm going to make a joke about it. I'm going to make sure she laughs on the way to school so she can forget and ease that tension that she's feeling so that she can have a good day. We forget what the intention of the other person is. It gets lost in all of the words that we use, the way that we say things. We get fed up too, right? I just want to care for you. I just want to make sure you're okay. How do I make sure you're okay if you don't speak to me? Maybe you have one of those people that disappears on you on a regular basis, right? You love him to pieces, like my brother's like that. I love him to death. He is the closest person to me on this in this universe. Okay? On this planet, in this universe. I don't know what preposition I was trying to use. But the point being that he's the closest person to me in the world. He's the one who knows me the best. Anyone want to know what I'm doing and why I do it the way that I do it? If I'm not going to be able to tell you, he's going to be able to tell you. But there are some times where I need him and I want him to answer the phone and he does not answer the phone. It's freaking annoying. But that also is an opportunity for me to figure it out for myself. I need to understand that he has his own life. He's newly married. He's still working from home. I'm glad he has a job. He, is pretty good about trying to, share in the workload at home. So cooking and cleaning, he does his part as well. So it could be anything. He could be in the middle of cooking. He could be in the bathroom. It could be anything, right? But because we're so used to this instant response culture, we get frustrated. So I need you to understand, just because it doesn't happen the way that you want it to doesn't mean the intention wasn't there. It just was bad delivery. So this is why I'm saying you need to speak plainly. Let me tell you, when I finally get my brother on the phone, I will tell him, I was upset you never answered the phone. I give him the opportunity to tell me, well, what the fuck was he up to? Like, what was he doing that was so damn important he couldn't answer the phone? And maybe it wasn't important. Maybe he was just occupied at the time and didn't see his phone. He's one of those people that if it doesn't happen while he's paying attention, he's going to forget that it happened at all. He's going to forget that he has like 27 messages from somebody unless it's super, super important. But the point is, I also know this about him. Why? Because I've been through this a couple hundred times where we fought about it. And he's explained to me, look, it's not that I don't love you. It's not that I don't want to be there for you. I had other things going on. It's very, very simple. In order for me to get to this level of intimacy with him, where I can actually talk to him about anything, and I would literally mean anything. There's some stupid things we talk about. But for me to get to that level of intimacy with him, we had to fight a lot. And we had to realize that we were fighting about dumb shit. We had to realize that we were poking at each other and purposely pissing the other person off the minute that we got offended. It's like a tit for tat kind of situation, right? You've all been in that situation. This is why I'm telling you, please learn to speak plainly. It slows everything down. If there are no adverbs and adjectives for people to pick on, it becomes a very, very simple conversation. Hey, I missed you. Simple. Hey, you hurt my feelings. Simple. I'm angry with you. Very simple. My daughter does that all the time. I'm mad at you. I'm sorry, what? What are you mad at? What did I do now? I'm mad at you because I was asking you a question, you weren't paying attention to me, you were on the phone. Oh my gosh, you know what? You're right. I was on the phone. I acknowledge what part was mine. I was on the phone. And I'm sorry I didn't pay attention to you. I acknowledge what she's offended by. And then I'll ask her the question again. What were you asking me? Let me see if I can answer it this time. Very, very simple. I don't have to tell her, well, you know what? I have things to do and I don't have time for you to be asking me stupid questions all the time. I don't have to do all that. That's unnecessary. You're going to start another fight, right? My daughter has feelings. They matter. I have feelings. They matter. But she's younger than I am, and I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. And you know what? There are some behaviors I could definitely change. I don't have to be on my phone all the time. My whole life is on my phone. My business is on my phone. People call me at all hours of the night because they need help, they need counsel, they need therapy, they need someone to listen to them because they're going out of their mind. I get it. But guess what? I belong to one person. I belong to my daughter. And anyone else that comes through, when they ask for help, I'm pretty sure they realize they are taking time from my daughter in order for me to spend it with them so they can get the help that they need. This is why I charge for my services. You are renting me from my daughter. This is the price of admission. This is how I give you the energy exchange. I'm going to give you my full, undivided attention. And a lot of times my clients know. If it's a situation where it's like very, very heightened, it's not going to be just a 1 hour conversation. It kind of goes on for a while. The last 1 hour conversation that was paid for, it was such a heightened emotional response on both sides. And I thought we left in a good place, but it continued for another 6 hours after that. On and off through WhatsApp because I had to check in on them. Because guess what? As much as I give them the advice they need, I need to help them change the behavior. And that doesn't happen with a 1 hour phone call. Especially when you're in a heightened state, y'all tend or prone to fighting each other. You're going to pick at each other after you get off the phone with me. Y'all get on the phone with me. And then when you get off the phone, you go back to square one. You go back to what you know. Behaviors are built up over time. So the remedy is going to take some time. When I commit to you guys, I commit. I really commit. I overcommit. I probably shouldn't, but I do. Why? Because I care. But don't forget, you're renting me from my daughter. That's the reason that I even left the corporate side of things, because they didn't understand there is a daughter waiting for me at home to make sure that I can teach her life skills that a parent is supposed to teach her child. So, with that being said, back to square one, you guys, listen. You have the opportunity, you have the time, you have the space to figure out what's going on in your relationships and try and mend them the best you can. Some things may be unforgivable, I get it. But you can't go back in the past, you can't change what happened, you can work with what is now. I've had a situation where I had to face an abuser. And I had to explain to them, look, I don't care if you ever admit what you did to me. I don't care if you ever apologize for what you did to me. I don't care. But here's what you're not going to do. You're not going to expect me to show you compassion and love like you're a family member. You don't have that no more. I'm not going to do it. So if you stop expecting, your feelings won't get hurt. You won't have the chance to complain about any of those things. I'm telling you, face to face right now, do not expect this from me. You won't get it. And if you don't expect it, you won't be disappointed. And from there, I'm able to mend the relationship because we can start from somewhere different. I will be courteous and I will be nice and polite to you like I am to the people who clean our, HDB blocks and the people who empty the trash can. I'm nice to everybody. There's no reason why we can't be nice, but don't expect anything more than that. Nothing more than a hello, how are you? Cool. Okay, bye. That's it. That's it. If that's all you get, doesn't that mean you get some kind of peace? They're not expecting anything from you anymore because you've told them, I don't have it to give you. I'm sorry. I don't have it. I don't have it. I don't have the respect to give you anymore because you took that from me. That's okay, though. It is what it is. You need to deal with what is now. I'm not going to treat you like a piece of shit because I'm not built like that. That's just me personally. Me, Rasati personally. Okay? But the point is, if you manage everybody's expectations, then you have a little bit more room for peace. So once again, speak plainly. Tell them exactly what it is that you feel with as few words as possible, which means it has to be super simple. There are going to be some feeling words in there. Maybe you're jealous. Maybe you're guilty. Maybe you're ashamed. Maybe you're scared. You're nervous. You're angry. Maybe you're depressed and anxious. You're lonely. Any of those simple words in order to explain exactly what it is that you're feeling in that moment so they can ask you the rest. They can prompt you for more. And then you actually know. If I tell you how I feel, will you respond? How will you respond? Are you concerned enough to ask me what you could do to help? Are you concerned enough to wonder if you actually did something wrong or not? If there's something that you can correct going forward so this never happens again? It's important. In a relationship, it's super important. And trust me, every repeated interaction with a human being that you have, that is a relationship. All right, you guys, you got any questions, comments, concerns, you want to rant, rave, whatever, I don't care. Drop them in the comments below. I do want to hear from you guys. But in the meantime, if you feel like I have something that I could possibly offer you in the way of peace in your life, hit me up. Let's schedule a time. Let's sit down and talk. Let's get to know each other. Let me find out if I'm the right coach for you and if you're the right client for me. And let's see if we can't figure some things out. Because some things are easier for me to point out than it is for you to see on your own. All right? So you know where I am if you need me. But in the meantime, you guys, stay safe. Stay as positive as you can be. And do what you can to fix what you have. Because trust me, it could always be worse. All right? I love you guys. I'll catch you soon. Bye.